in, out, or through Long Beach Airport. I'm going to show you around this really cool, charming, small airport in the Los Angeles area, but first, let me tell you a little bit about it and where it's located. This airport is located 20 miles south of Los Angeles International Airport, right on the border of Los Angeles and Orange County. Many people enjoy using this airport instead of LAX because it is much smaller, easier to get around, and really feels like flying in the days of old when it was just a few steps from where you could park your car or get dropped off by a taxi to actually get to the gate. All right, so let me now tell you about what's out in front of the airport, and then we'll go ahead and go through security and check out the gate area. So first, this airport is 100 years old. They have this really neat historic terminal. It is currently under refurbishment. That's not used for anything. There is a new building for ticketing. You will find 3 different airlines that operate here: Hawaiian Airlines, Delta, and Southwest. Southwest is the definitely big primary carrier here. JetBlue used to operate out of Long Beach, but they've moved all of their operations up to LAX. The check-in kiosks you'll find here, press the button, select your airline. Some are for Hawaiian and Southwest, and others are just for Delta. Now, after you've got your tickets, then you'll go ahead, after you checked your luggage in, you'll go over to the security checkpoint, which is just right next to the ticketing area. Separate lines for regular security, TSA pre or clear, and then you'll be inside the area where I'm standing right now of the airport. But before I take you through here, let me tell you about some of the other things that are still on the other side of security. Baggage claim when you're arriving, also in what appears to be kind of a separate building that you walk outside to get to. There are 2 baggage claims, so you're not going to be looking for too many. If you're driving here and parking, there are 2 parking garages. Parking garage A, which charges $25 a day, or parking garage B, much bigger, just a little further out, that charges $20 a day. You'll find taxis that are waiting around to pick up people, and you'll also find rental cars right on site in this small parking lot right next to parking garage A. All right, and now let's come onto this side through security. Let me show you around the gate area of the airport. As you come through the security checkpoint, you will come right out of this door right here. And then there are 2 main buildings, but you actually come out into like an open air part of the airport. So if it is raining, you would get wet walking from security over to any of these other buildings. I think that's an interesting design in a place that doesn't rain very much. This is a map of what the airport looks like. So you can see right in front of that historic terminal, taxi, ride share, the ticketing, and these are the 11 gates back here. There are 2 full service restaurants. One is the Boathouse on the Bay. This is kind of like a seafood restaurant. Think of like fish sandwiches, clam chowders, that sort of stuff. Yes, they serve breakfast too, crab cakes, etc., etc. The first building that's in has gates 1 through 4. It's quiet right now because this is where Delta flies out of, and well, nobody's flying on Delta right now. Everybody's over at the Southwest terminals because this flight doesn't go for another couple hours. Over here, some nice quiet waiting areas, restrooms in the back, a CNBC News Long Beach, that's like the gift shop here, you can get your waters and stuff, and Sweet Jill's Bakery plus Sheldrake Coffee Shop. So that is what is in this building. Nicely air-conditioned, new, modern, really quite nice. All right, going back into that common area where we started, they've made this kind of look like a boardwalk, like on the beach. We've got palm trees in here, some glass to separate us between the gate areas. You will notice that there are no jet bridges at Long Beach International Airport. Is international? I think it's just Long Beach Airport. There are no jet bridges. Everything you come down on ramps that they roll up to the planes. But it's nice because you can get fresh air. Like if you're connecting on Southwest, since Southwest is a primary carrier and you can absolutely connect here, you don't have to sit in a stuffy airport. You can come out here and enjoy the fresh, warm Southern California sun while you're waiting to get on your next flight. All right, over on the right, that's baggage claim I showed you earlier. The second full-service restaurant is 4th Street and 4th Street Vine. This is a neighborhood wine and beer bar with, of course, some food. Now, we're gonna go into the busy area. This is gates 5 through 11. This is where all the Southwest flights are going out of. We've got some people boarding to Colorado Springs right here. And the way Southwest does their lineups is when you check in, you get assigned a letter, A, B, C, and then you get assigned the number 1 through 60, and then you basically line up based on your letter number. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. On the back of the wine bar, they've got a cantina, the more formal bar. There's a little food court over here. We have Taco Beach. You can get some tacos. How much are tacos here? Well, a burrito, $12. Quesadilla, $12. Ahi tuna tacos, $20.99. There's the Long Beach Burger Bar. There's Georgia's Greek Cafe if you want some Greek food. And we see back here the same coffee shop that we saw earlier, Sweet Jill's and the Sheldrake Coffee. Bigger location over on this side. I think if I was going to pick from those, I would probably pick George's Greek Cafe. Some of the coffee and treats from Sweet Jill's. All right, we got people lining up here to go to Chicago, and you can see these little pillars that have numbers on them. This is what you would line up with your number that was assigned, and then they'll tell you what letter they are lining people up at as the boarding process goes. I wish this airport was a little bit bigger. Like, even though it's new, I feel like they've clearly undersized it for the Southwest operations that go out of here. There are a lot of planes coming and going, but again, if we look out at this window, you can see how there's no jet bridge. There's just a ramp that they roll up to the plane, and it looks like the pilot was washing his window right there. All right, good that it's clean. A sign back here that says Long Beach is 100 years old, celebrating their anniversary, water bottle fillers, water fountains, and then the final part of the terminal over by gate 11, we've got Long Beach News and Gifts and the 562 experience. So if you're looking for some souvenirs, things that say Long Beach, mugs, things like that, you will find it right here, as well as your chips, snacks, etc., etc., and of course your inflatable neck pillows. And then just to briefly show you outside what boarding looks like after they scan your boarding pass, you come out here down this little cattle area, which is covered, and then you go down the area which is not covered. So rainy days, this could absolutely be a great way to bring an umbrella. Interesting, you can take a ramp from the front, or you can also take a staircase from the back. That's interesting. I think I'm gonna go up the back sneaky way, though. If you take the staircase from the back, you do have to carry your luggage up the staircase. With a ramp, you can just roll it on up. Well, fellow explorers, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to compare